Hey guys, here to do my comeback review. This is the first review I've done in a while. I watched Michael Keikel's review of Star Wars Episode 1, and if you've never heard of him, check him out. He's a really good movie reviewer. And I don't think I've ever reviewed a Star Wars movie before, so I thought I'd want to review it. And I have the Star Wars Blu-ray set, and I'm going to review Episode 1. Um, I can't really add anything different about episode one that hasn't been said already. A lot of people hate it. Um, there's a lot of reviews out there, just people bashing the shit out of it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Episode one is my favorite movie in the prequel trilogy, and it did take a while to grow on me. When I first saw it, I could understand why people hated it, but then as time went on and I started watching the prequels more, because I didn't really grow up on the prequels, I grew up on the original trilogy. I really like Episode One the best. Jar Jar's never really bothered me. A lot of people hate Jar Jar. I honestly, I don't know. I'm honestly more bothered of Natalie Portman as Queen Amidala and her monotone voice throughout the whole movie than I was with Jar Jar. So same thing with Jake Lloyd as young Anakin. He never really bothered me that much. I thought he did a pretty good job with what he was dealt with. You know, I thought he did a really good job. I don't think it was anything to bully him for, because if you watch some of his interviews on YouTube, he talks about being bullied and being depressed and just all this stuff happening to him because he was in this movie, and I don't think that's fair. But I guess that's how it is. Um, the reason why Episode 1 is my favorite Star Wars prequel is because it's the one that feels like Star Wars the most. It was still in the 20th century. It didn't really feel like it it the, it didn't feel like too George Lucas. Episode 2 and 3 are just packed to the brim with special effects and CGI and all this stuff, and while it looks cool, Episode 1 still has that kind of old feel to it. Really like the music. I think this is my favorite soundtrack. Darth Maul's my favorite villain out of the prequel trilogy. I think he's better than Dooku, Sidious, Darth Vader. He's my favorite. I always thought the lightsaber battle at the end of this movie was awesome. One of my favorites. Um, I've always had an appreciation for it. I was never bothered by the politics talk that people found boring. I love Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn. It's just there's so much good stuff in this movie. Um, it's really nostalgic. I feel like I'm watching Star Wars when I watch Episode One. When I watch two and three, two I don't really like that much because of the whole Anakin and Padme love story that was going on. While there is some really cool things going on, like the Jedi arena battle and Christopher Lee as Count Dooku and the whole fight with Obi-Wan and Jango, it's really cool. Episode 3, I've seen so many times that I almost am sick to death of it. I just, there's a lot of things that I think are kind of wrong with it, particularly the ending where Darth Vader's, standing, yelling no, and doing all this corny stuff, and Hayden Christensen getting all like Jack Nicholson towards the end when he's going to the dark side is just. I don't understand why people like episode 3 that much. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things in it, but it feels like George Lucas just put his little finger in almost everything and made it almost kind of unwatchable for me. At least not as rewatchable as episode 1. Um, I'm thinking, he hadn't directed a movie in a long time. This was his first Star Wars movie since what was I think Return of the Jedi came out in like 81. So I'm sure he might have been experimenting a little bit with this movie, but then, when 2 and 3 came out, that's when he flew blown, went CGI on everything, and made them the way he wanted them. I like episode 1 because it feels really down to earth. It feels like classic Star Wars. It's just not packed to the brim with CGI. Revenge of the Sith, right from the beginning, it almost looks too fake to me. But if you don't live on the planet Earth and you don't know what episode one's about, basically it talks about Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan finding Anakin on Tatooine and rescuing him from slavery, training him to become a Jedi. Also, we got the Trade Federation wanting to take control of Naboo, and this is when we get introduced to the droids. I think, the first time we see the droids on that field when they're about ready to battle I can't remember what Jar Jar Binks' type is called for some reason, the Gungans, and they're all like hunched up and they're folding their arms out and doing all that cool stuff. It puts a smile on my face. I thought it was really cool. Um, a lot of people make fun of Darth Maul's face paint and just, kind of doing all of his showing off and his kicks and everything. And like I said, I have never had a problem with it. If anything, you know, I had a bigger problem with Hayden Christensen in episode 3 than I did with Darth Maul. I just I really don't understand why people hate episode 1 so much. It's not a perfect Star Wars movie. It's definitely not the best one, but I think it's the best one in the prequel trilogy. A lot of people, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that before, except for John Tron. I did hear him say that in a Cinemassacre video. But one of my favorite Star Wars. I love it to death. If you haven't gotten the Blu-ray set yet, I got mine for under $90 at Meyer. Um, it's got some pretty cool artwork going on, and that's what the episode 1 cover looks like. Episode 2, I'm just gonna show you what it looks like real quick. Then you got episode 3, looks pretty cool. 4, 5, 6, and then you got 3 bonus discs. Um, I was kind of pissed off that I spent so much money on this set, and I still have to keep my, at least my prequel DVDs, because not all the bonus features that were on the prequel DVDs are on this set. None of the making of documentaries from the prequel trilogy is on here at all. The only bonus features for the prequels is documentaries about making the sets and like effects. That's really pretty much it. There are some cool documentaries about the original trilogy. Nothing that was on the bonus disc from the first time the trilogy was released on DVD. None of that's on here. I'll tell you real quick what's on the best bonus disc. You got a documentary that talks about Empire Strikes Back 30 years later, which is the best one. You got an hour and a half of Star Wars spoofs. You got a 30-minute documentary talking about how they animated a dewback in episode 4. And then you got 3 making of documentaries of the original trilogy, but they were made when the movie was being made. I don't really like that much. I don't really like that much because I like to listen to the filmmaker and the actors, you know, comments, and I like them to talk about it, after all the hype is, been super big for the past, 30, 40 years, and I like them to look back on it and talk about it. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting, but to me, I mean, it wasn't worth the extra money that I paid for. And yeah, there's a couple other documentaries. It's all the Blu-ray discs. There's no DVD copies. The individual trilogy sets that you can buy will come with DVDs. And the only bonus features with or standalone trilogy box sets are going to be the commentaries, which I think the commentaries are pretty cool. But honestly, if you're pretty dead set on getting this, and you wanted to get it for the bonus features, I wouldn't really get it. If you already have your prequel DVDs and if you have the bonus features disc from the original trilogy, I would honestly just buy the standalone trilogy Blu-ray sets because you're going to save a little bit of money, because for the most part, I think the cheapest you can get them is probably $30, $35, which isn't a lot at all. So, I mean, unless you like the really cool artwork in the book, then you can spend all your money on it. I I probably wouldn't have spent as much money as I did, but you know, it is what it is. But I hope you guys liked this video about me talking about episode 1. I've always felt very strongly about this movie. When anybody bashes it and they're around me, I have to say why. What's your reason for saying Jar Jar sucks? What's your reason for saying this sucks? Everybody bashes episode 1 and the prequel trilogy because that's what everybody else does. Very rarely when I watch a review on episode 1 in particular, I never hear anything new. It's all the stuff that we've heard for 15 years. Jar Jar's a dick. George Lucas is a dick. Darth Maul has a whole bunch of shitty face paint, makes him look bad. This looks fake. Jake Lloyd is gay. All this stupid stuff. It was kind of pissing me off, and I really, after watching Michael Keikel's video, I thought, I really want to make a video about episode 1. But hope you guys like this video. Hope, I wasn't rambling too much in the video. If you go ahead and like the video, just go ahead and leave a like. Comment below if you want to recommend any movies, any comments that you want to make about the video. Go ahead and do that. I'll leave all my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that crap. I'll leave that down below. So if you want to follow me and be a stalker, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, I hope to do more videos in the future. And yeah, thanks for staying with me for all this time. And I'll see you guys later.